One girl, three guys, whole lot of magic. We're talking about Dragon's Gift, and this is The Pretty Little Death. I'm Christina Lynn, your critic.
Hi.
And this is the bestie.
I'm your bestie.
This is Cass, and so this is our first series in a hot minute because we tried one, and it was a no-go. So
sorry, guys, I'm picky.
So we went back to a little romantasy, and this ticked a couple of boxes for us. We like the dragons. We like a good harem read. And it was over 200 pages long, so good job. It
was an easy read, though.
It was really quick. We are recording this after work, thus no makeup, raw faces for you. Yep.
Fresh faces.
Yep. Yes. All right. Well, Dragon's Gift by Jasmine Walt is the first book. It is part of the Dragon's Gift trilogy, which means, and I thank the author for putting this, the trilogy, it's the same characters through all three books. We are finished with book one. I've already finished book two. I'm not quite sure if you've started yet, but
no.
That's fine. I'm not going to ruin it for you. So far, I will say this. The first book in a series is always the one that captures me, and the second book is the one that fucking loses me. I don't know about you.
Oh, same. Usually. Though, I have to say, since we were discussing ACOTAR earlier, the second book was way better than
the
first one in that series.
Hot take. Get rid of all the other ones, just do book two.
I agree. I disagree. I think it should have been a trilogy.
Yeah.
I think the third one is good too. But that's fine.
That's fine. And we're also going to put a caveat in there. The Brutes of Bristol Brook. We're still waiting for it to come out. The third book. Second book was fucking good. The first book was delicious, but the second one was just scrumptious.
I just want the second one to be a movie. It was really good, guys.
I mean,
if you like post-apocalyptic at all, and you like romance, and you like spicy stuff, you would like it.
You'll like this series.
It's good shit.
I have sent you a couple of recommendations for new post-apocalyptic things, by the way.
Yes, I've looked into them. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm finishing up one right now that's post-apocalyptic, kind of, with a heroine that's not in her 20s, or at least her early 20s. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, we're not talking about those right now. We're talking about Dragon's Gift.
No, we're not.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We are getting sidetracked.
We're a little delirious.
It's because it's late, and we've had a long day, and I have a new cat that's in my bathroom with my husband right now. So what is going on? Would you like to give a synopsis, or shall I? You probably just finished it, so
I finished it more recently. I think it was about a couple weeks ago now, but I think so. The main protagonist, her name is Dorina. She is a lower class woman in a run-of-the-mill fantasy city. There is a king that has anthropomorphic properties, I guess. They're called the Dragon family. It is presumed that he and his triplet sons can morph into dragons. At least that's what, it's
we're led to believe. We are led to believe
what it is. And every year, and when they come of age, when the offspring come of age, they hold a huge festival to pick out the dragon's gift, to isolate all the maidens in the city, and not just in the city, in the whole countryside and various kingdoms too. I think too, all their eligible bachelorettes, and they have these recruiters that are usually family members to pick out the most eligible to be the and then they all drink from a chalice. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dorina, she's lower class.
Yes.
She's really pretty. She's this she's described as a curvy woman with dark striking features and dark black hair or brown hair.
Yeah, she's got everybody else has got like red or blonde hair, and she is exotic because she has a more golden skin and black hair.
Yeah.
And like blue eyes, I want to say. Everybody else has like green or brown.
Yeah, her eyes are different too. And she works in a tavern.
Yeah, like an inn, and the owner is trying to get her to marry him because she's the hardest worker. But she's like, I can't accept.
Owner's like an old guy.
Yeah.
And he's like a widow.
And she's like, I can't accept any marriage proposals until after the gift festival. And he's like, you're not going to get chosen. She's like, doesn't matter. I still have to show up. And she gets chosen against all odds. And people with money are not happy with that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a whirlwind. This book reads very quickly.
Very quickly.
It's pretty fast.
And it's 200. Let me go back to this. It's 236 pages long, but it did not feel like it. Like, at all.
Quick.
Very quick. And not...
Which is good.
It wasn't uncomfortably quick, because I know we've had instances where things were just like lightning fast, and you're like
whiplash.
How has anything gotten done? Like, there's no character, there's not enough time for character development, etc. That was not the case with this. Jam packed, full of tidbits and story elements and things. You really got an idea of what the world was like. World building was concise. And not always supposition.
Yes.
Like, you got to see it. You didn't get told it. So she gets chosen along with like 30 other women, and they get brought to the castle. The reason that this one is so important is because usually the bloodline only has one male heir. And many, 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 many women. Women are usually infertile in this line. So the dragon's gift is a caveat to a curse that was bestowed upon the family. And against all odds, the king had triplets instead of just one. So it is under the assumption that whoever wins the dragon's gift will become king, because the king has not named which one of his 3 sons is going to be the heir to the kingdom. Shit goes haywire real fucking quick. Am I wrong? Goes wrong real quick. The women who chose the different candidates for the gift are the sisters of the triplets. There are 13 sisters. So, like, the king and queen,
huge family,
we're getting it on. Okay. There was no pullout game in this family.
None whatsoever. I mean, they had to continue the royal line.
But did they have to continue that much?
They did. I mean, when you have wealth and I guess you could just keep popping them out until she died.
Yeah, she did die, but she did not die in childbirth or anything like that. No, she, as far as anybody is aware, their neighboring kingdom of elves, which have a horrible history with the dragons, killed their mother. So they are at war with the elves, which our main character believes that she is actually a descendant from elves. That's part of the reason that this particular gift festival is so important, is because the king is getting older. He's going mad. They call it dragon sickness, I think they called it. And
there's always a mad king.
There's always
in
a mad king.
Novel.
You can't have a fantasy novel without a mad king. Come on. I mean, hell, even in the one I was writing, there was a mad king. It's a standard trope at this point. It's not a fantasy novel without a mad king.
Yes.
And so the sons are trying to stabilize the kingdom by participating in the gift, as well as try to ensure their inheritance. Each one of the brothers has a different strength. The youngest of the three is kind of the warrior one of them. He's bulky and he will rush in and help whenever. He's constantly going to the front, which their oldest sister, who is a general of the army, is like, no, you're not doing that. He's like, no, I can do that. She's like, no, you need to stay here. The second oldest is the spy master of the three. He's very sly. He's very sleek. And even though they're all triplets, they don't look... Pardon me.
No, you're good.
Oh my goodness. So excited. The three of them do not look alike. They each have different color hair. They kind of resemble each other, but not really. And so the youngest one is blonde, the middle one is a redhead, and the oldest is a brunette. The oldest one is the stoic one. He's the one that's usually dealing with their father because their father is nuts. So he takes the brunt of that.
Yeah.
They each have their own role to play in this whole kit and caboodle, but they eventually decide that there's going to be a contest between the three of them. Whoever can win the affections of the gift will step aside. Or no, I'm sorry. The two who don't win the affections of the gift will step aside and allow that person to become the heir. Because their father said whoever the gift decides to mate with is who will become king. So they're not going to like attack each other. They're just going to woo the fuck out of her.
Yes. And
very amicable, by the way.
Very amicable.
Like,
oh, for sure.
They
were all very competitive with each other, but they are all very much like honorable.
Yes.
And
they're not pitted
sports.
Against each other either.
Yeah.
They know what their father is doing, because their father puts in the caveat that if the gift doesn't choose by the end of like a 2 or 3 week run, then maybe he just mates with the gift himself and continues to be king. And everybody's like, okay, old man.
Ew,
like,
no
way, no how. So they go through the whole ceremony. Like, there's classes for these women on comportment and manners and stuff like that, dressings and how to be seen and not heard. Which our main character kind of does not enjoy at all. No. She thinks it's ridiculous, and I agree. So they go through all of these classes for a couple of weeks, and then the ceremony to choose the gift, whoever the dragon god has chosen as the gift, is then announced. And they're drinking from a cup, and something happens to our main character. And oh my gosh, she's the dragon's gift. Who knew?
It's like an Indiana Jones, she's the chalice moment.
It is.
That's what I was thinking the whole time.
The other ladies definitely take a sip. Nothing happens. They're like holding on to the cup, willing something to happen. Nothing does.
Except
And
they all horribly die. They are all alive. Just very
yeah,
sad.
some of them were not nice. Most of the couple of them were cool.
Yeah, she had some friends,
Yeah,
but then like
they all
after she was
disappear.
chosen, they disappeared. No
Like
friends.
no
No
friends, no
friends
one at all.
anymore.
Just a
And
whole
I
lot of
bet you they're not
fucking.
mentioned in the rest of
Ever
the
again.
series.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot of fucking after she becomes the
Oh,
gift. So much.
nonstop.
Like it doesn't even take a date. By the end of a date, she's already in bed with someone. And the brothers are
Oh
just
yeah.
like, all right, okay, now I know I have to do better. Like, your game might be good, but my game is gonna be better. Like, I'm not kidding. Am I kidding? Like
No, no, they are, and it's kind of gross.
But it's
They're like,
endearing too. Like
it's endearing, but it is kind of. I don't know. I wasn't icked out. It's a smut. You know what you're getting into.
It made me
but
laugh so
it was
hard.
pretty funny because they were very competitive with one another.
Yeah.
But in a very good sportsman like way.
Yes.
There wasn't any. I thought one of them would end up being like a rival or
Yeah.
had to be killed off or turn on against the other. That didn't happen.
No.
They all decided to be together.
Yeah.
As a little harem polycule thing.
Polycule. And such,
and
like the boys are not fucking each other. Let's make that clear. There's no twincest going on.
That's for the better.
Yeah. So they all come together because they realize something is going on. While they're trying to woo her, a prince from the elven side demands a meeting from our dragon princes. One of them shows up. Actually, they all show up, but only one of them is meant to have shown up. And the elven prince is like, you need to look deeper into your mother's death. We did not do it. I can't exactly tell you what is going on, but not everything is what it seems. Well, the princes are like, what the hell does that mean? He's like, I can't say anymore. Like, it would be to the detriment of what I'm trying to do. Along comes sister, who's like, I'm banging that dude, and we've been trying to not kill each other in the war. I love him. He loves me. We tried to
sabotaging each other.
Yes.
Technically.
Yes.
So to continue this war and not really have it resolved.
And the prince is like, if we were to try to fight, your kingdom would be wiped off the map. And the prince is like, yeah, whatever. We've got dragons. He's like, no, we have the numbers. My king is already trying to figure out why we haven't won yet, because the statistics say that we should have won 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And the brothers are like, okay, something else is going on. So they start digging while they're while they're having sescapades. There's a lot of fucking in 263.
There's so much. It's just
36. I'm sorry. 236 pages. So much fucking.
Roller coaster. They dive right in.
In the library, in the bedroom, in the garden, in the forest. I think there was a time on a horseback.
Oh my. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's got to be painful.
Oh my
and
gosh, that poor horse
did not consent to that.
No.
Animal cruelty.
Hashtag horse lives matter. Oh my gosh, we are so tired, guys. So this is why we do our recordings in the morning. I've only been up for, I can't even do math. So that's how long. That's how long. Brain is fried.
Brain no think.
So after the 2 or 3 weeks, the king is like, okay, gift, who have you chosen? And she's like, mm, I'd choose all three. And he laughs. He's like, no, 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 that's not funny. Like, if you can't choose, then you're going to be married to me. And she's like, princes are like, the fuck she is. So
Mm-mm.
what does the king do? The king busts, just busts out in dragon and just starts
He
like,
enrages.
he tears into his sons and then flies out a huge stained glass window. And
One of the sons turns into a dragon to fight him.
yeah, the oldest of the triplets, the one that
Yeah,
everybody assumed would become king,
the king. Yeah.
becomes a dragon to fight him, and one of the brothers is severely injured. And how, like,
So
how,
it ends with the king flying off
yes,
because he's a little bitch
he is.
and he's angry that his sons have taken over.
Mm-hmm.
He blames her, obviously.
Yeah, it's always the woman's
It's always
fault.
the woman's fault.
I mean, sometimes it is a woman's fault, but not this time.
But not this
It's
time.
because he's gone crazy. And I don't remember if this is the point where the elven delegates show up.
I don't even remember that part. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, this,
But it happens.
it does happen. I think it does happen because so the king goes flying off. The prince comes back, and there's a entourage of elven delegates.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, listen, the prince that has been in charge of our army has been taken prisoner because we found him colluding with the enemy, i.e. your princess. Mm-hmm. And we want collateral. You can either surrender now, or we can take a hostage and we can come to some agreement about what's going about ending this war. And they were like, what collateral do you want? They're like, oh, we want your gift. We just want the dragon's gift.
That's right. It did happen like immediately after.
And they were like,
because the sister shows up, right?
Right. And they're like, no. And they're like, no, you have no choice. We are poised to take you over. And that's how the book ends. Like, it goes by that fucking quick.
It really does. Yeah. And it's good. It doesn't read.
It's not like a saga.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, this is a hot take. I never read Lord of the Rings because I couldn't get past the first fucking chapter. It did not read like that.
Okay. I also have not read the entirety of Lord of the Rings. I have read The Hobbit many times. I have read the first half. I got halfway.
Through Fellowship?
Through the Fellowship. And I was going to read more, but I don't know, something else.
Yeah, it
was too boring.
I love Brandon Sanderson. The Stormlight series is one of my favorite fantasy series. If you guys,
TBR, I have not read
gotta
it yet.
read it. It took me 2 tries to actually get through it the first time because I was just so easily distracted by whatever was going on in my life. I wasn't reading as much as I am now at that time. But the first one, The Way of Kings, that is a great book. The second one went by much faster. If you want to listen to it, Cass, instead of read it, it's on the Plex.
Okay. Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. Our lovely friend is also a Brandon Sanderson lover, and he listens to his books. So he put it on the Plex, and that's how I got through the second one real fucking quick. I didn't even have to put it on 2 times speed because a lot of it's a dramatized reading. Mm-hmm. So it'll go quicker because a lot of the stuff that is put into a literary form is taken out for dramatized readings. So that wraps up what the book was. We got through that pretty freaking quick. But again, the read was really quick. So
it was.
Pardon me. Oh my gosh. Remind me not to eat my dinner right before we record.
I
Oh,
mean, we kind of have no choice.
yeah. This is really late for us, guys. So
Past
thanks.
my bedtime.
Oh yeah. All right. So question number 1: what was your overall rating for the first book in this series?
I gave it, I believe, a 3.5. 3.5 star.
Okay. And what was why 3.5? Like, I know you like to give like half stars, and I'm always
I
wondering,
know.
like, is that half a star like a pity half a star? Like, it wasn't
Maybe.
totally mid, but like it wasn't good enough to get a full star.
So, in my opinion, I didn't want it to be. It's not so bad that it deserves only 3 stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so good that it deserves the full 4.
Okay.
I think
It's mid of the mid.
3.5 is exactly where it is. It read very well. It
Mm-hmm.
was good writing,
Mm-hmm.
the quality of writing.
Yeah.
I was thankful that there weren't any unnecessary details. However, that being said, I I think it read very obvious. Like there was
Yeah. There was no
no
suspense.
no suspense, no time to. There was no room for any kind of conflict between. I mean, the main besides the main conflict with the king.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, not that you need conflict, but you need some sort of
Plot
intrigue
driver.
with all of the love interests. I I couldn't tell you which interaction happened with which. I feel like the brothers were way too similar.
Yeah.
Um and
They had their individual quirks, but like I really
very
couldn't
little,
it
very one-dimensional.
outside of that initial description of the three of them, I couldn't really tell you
Yeah.
anything.
I do enjoy a good popcorn read.
Mm-hmm.
This is that. But sometimes and maybe this is just a nitpick, sometimes I want to read something that I'm like, oh, foreshadowing over here, or something little sprinkle of intrigue. There was nothing like this in this book. It was just like, here, this is happening. Then we go to the next story beat. Here, this is happening. Next story beat, a bunch of fucking. And then that story beat, okay, we're gonna prepare for the next book.
Yeah.
And I, as much as I had a good time reading this book, I had fun. I don't think it deserves a full 4 stars. I think, um, I if it weren't part of our series, I probably wouldn't read the rest of the series. I'd be like, okay, enough of that.
Yeah.
But
So
I will
what you're really saying is
continue.
that there's no space on your bookshelf for this.
No, sorry.
Because as
Sorry.
we've established, this is our 50th YouTube video, or 51st, I'm sorry, 51st YouTube
Oh yeah,
video.
51. Yeah.
Shakes for us. And our 17th podcast episode. As we've established over all that time, Cass does not necessarily buy books. People buy books for her, but
Yes.
normally if a book is really good, she'll be like, I'm buying this one.
Because I want to go back to have a physical copy.
Right.
You can, when I eventually move into a nicer house or a nicer place, I do want like a trophy bookshelf or my or Kindle trophies or whatever they call them.
Yeah. And so this one just there's no space on the shelf for this one. I get that.
Nope.
I give it a 3 stars. I give it 3 stars because as you go on the story, I'm going on the writing, and this one is actually there's not a lot of gratuitous. That's how I know I'm tired. Gratuitous grammar errors. There's I mean, it's in first person, unfortunately. Like, that's going to be my gripe every single fucking time. It's not going away. Stop writing in first person. It doesn't need to be in first person. It actually probably would do better if it wasn't in first person, but whatever.
I love you. I feel like every single time.
Every single time it's in first fucking person.
Well, you just dock a star automatically.
I do. I do.
No, every time. Every time. I think you do it subconsciously, but I've noticed that. I'm like, oh, it would have been a 5-star had it been in third person.
If it wasn't in first. No, this time it's 3 stars, bitch. Okay, it's 3 stars. There is a flow to it. It does read very quick. I get what you're saying. It could, like, to me, it's not meaty enough. Like, there's not enough tension.
Substance.
There's not enough there's not enough tension. There's not enough suspense for it to be meaty enough to be a 4-star for me. Or to be a popcorn reader. This was like, okay, this is kind of fun. I'm gonna get through it because it was our series. But it did go very fast for me. I think I read this in like an afternoon. The second one, I think, is the one that took me forever to get through. Forever to get through. So, question number 2. If there are corrections, what would they be?
Corrections?
Yes.
Or just story rewrites? Because there's a difference. I don't think I saw something that was blatantly obvious that needed to be corrected about the way that the story was intended.
Mm-hmm.
I think if to add a little bit more intrigue, I would have probably made this a little bit longer.
Yeah,
maybe like 100 or so pages.
I think maybe even 40 pages more would have been. But I mean, but the author
I'm not a writer.
but even with 40 pages, I'm pretty sure the author would have just put more fucking in. Like, this is fuck heavy. This story is really fuck heavy. This is smut. It's not a romantasy. It's straight smut.
This is a smut.
It's smut.
We're in smut territory right now.
That's what the question was. Remember, I said, "Oh yeah, well, we had a 4th question, and I forgot to write it down. Is it a romantic, or is it a erotic, a smut, or is it a romance novel?" That's what the 4th question. I'm writing it down so I don't forget it. See, writing it down right here. Okay, number 4.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yes.
Romance, smut, or erotica. Because if any of you have listened to our past episodes, or if you're one of our devoted listeners, because we looked at the analytics today, we do have a couple of devoted listeners, and we thank you so much. The podcast is doing really well because of our devoted listeners. You know that we've actually had a couple of erotic stories so far. Not many get put into that category. We had a couple of them, though. Anyways. So, yeah, corrections. You're just saying add some more pages.
The reason why, though, I think the characters needed to be fleshed out. Their motives could have been a little bit more dynamic.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's all very surface.
I really liked the sister character, the one that chose Darina.
Yeah.
I thought she was hella cool, and I wanted something else to happen with her.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, for what it is, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, keep it the way it is. It clearly did its job. It's fine. I just, as a reader, I was craving something else, I guess. Something different.
I will agree with that. If my corrections would be, this is everything, all the interactions are very high school until it gets to the fucking. Then that's very, like, but even that is, like, very tired, you know?
It was very vanilla.
Yeah. And especially with the second brother, who was like, I'm the kinky one in the group. I was like, bitch, you are not kinky.
What?
You
Did
are
he
not.
say that?
Yeah,
I don't even remember him saying that.
It was on their date, on their picnic date. He was like, "No, I'm gonna rock your world," and she was just like, "Okay."
But don't they
And
always say that?
they always say that. Okay. One of the things that kept popping up in this story, like almost every single one of the guys said, "Like what you see." Like, bitch, why is
I
that in
know.
every fucking book?
I know. I
Every
don't know.
fuck.
I don't like that.
I
I
hate
don't like that. Do you know why I don't like that? Because it's
because
too close to reality.
it's in every fucking book.
No,
I've
it's not
never.
in every
Oh,
book.
it
I
is
don't. I
in
feel
every book
like
that I have read this year. Every book.
okay, you read
Every.
a lot more than I do.
Yep. We looked
Maybe
at that
this
today
is
too.
why
I'm
I'm.
at 189. I'm gonna make 230 by the end of the year. Watch. That's my goal this year, if not 250. I'm hoping for 250. That was last year's goal. Right now I'm at 289. I am like at 96% on the book I'm reading right now. Bitch, I'm gonna get 250.
Girl, you're gonna tire yourself out. One day you're gonna crash.
Nope. Oh, and these are the two pre-orders that came in, by the
So
way.
pretty.
So the
Gorgeous.
stars are dying and bull moon rising. Whoops. There we go. There we go.
Okay,
I
okay.
had
Oh, Taurus. That's my zodiac.
I had pre-ordered these back in April and they finally came in October. So those are on my TBR. They don't count towards my Kindle Insights goal, but those will be read this year too. But anyways, yeah, that was my thing. Like it was overly done. Everything, it was very surface. It felt like high school. Every interaction felt like high school. And these are supposed to be adults. And I'm just like the brothers are in their 30s.
I could not believe that. They don't act it.
No.
Everyone acts like they're a horny 21, like early 20-year-old.
Every single one that I reads like they're 17. I'm just like,
and not only that, it's just the sex bothered me too.
Yeah.
I don't like a overly cocky person in the bedroom because it's like never the case.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have a problem with everybody talking mid-coitus.
Oh, dude. I get it. I agree. Okay. I know that they kind of do need that to set the scene when you're consuming this type of media. They need to explain things. And then there's also a kink aspect to that too. A lot of people like that.
I get it. I get being called a good girl. Trust me, I get being called a good girl.
But there's a difference between that
and fun conversations.
I know.
Like,
no.
You know, I'm not coherent during those times. Like,
I don't think many people are.
There's a reason it's called Le Petite Mort. It's because you die a little bit. If you are talking, you are not dying.
Yes.
Okay. Those are my corrections.
Okay.
What is a major... I gotta lower my
feeling.
I gotta lower my blood pressure. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I gotta lower my blood pressure.
Yeah.
What's a major plot hole that you found?
I'm never prepared for this question.
You say that every single time too.
I know. I need to stop.
What I need to do is I told you last time we did a recording, I was going to make you a poster with our questions on it so you could be prepared for it. I don't think it'll help that much, but
it won't. Because I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, I guess the biggest plot hole is that this magic is not really explained.
Yeah.
I guess the family is cursed.
Yeah.
But are there other dragons in the world? Are there other cursed
So,
families?
yes, there are those who are dragon kin. They
Okay.
came from dragons as well, but their bloodline is a lot thinner, so they can't
Transform.
shift, they can't do anything like that. They just are a lot better looking, which I think is just a fucking cop out. Like, it's like saying, "Oh, I have an 18 charisma, so I'm sexy as fuck." First of all, that's not how charisma works.
No, I've never heard that before.
I've played a lot more D&D than you have, though, too.
Oh, that's true.
And many
But
different
no,
versions of D&D. But
high charisma does not necessarily mean you're hot. It just means that
right,
you are you
right.
are
Dude, I was
good
playing
at interacting with people.
I was playing in this group, okay? This group run by my uncle, and we had this guy who decided he wanted to play a female elven barbarian, which already doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
And with an 18
I can see it.
charisma, an 18 charisma for a barbarian, and we were like, why? And he's like, oh, because I want her hot as fuck. She is the best looking thing you've ever seen. And we were just like, that's not how that works.
No, it's not how that works. That's really funny that they think that.
Yeah. Like, and we did stat buys. So, like, it wasn't like a standard array, but you had points to buy your stats. You
The
would
point
have,
by, yeah.
yeah. And it was like an epic point buy. You had 25 points to buy your stats.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
because we were playing at like level 15. This was an epic level game.
Yeah.
And he put it all into charisma. And we were like, you are such a fucking dumbass. Like, you're a barbarian.
He's gonna be crappy at his arm.
And so, like, one of the rules in my uncle's games, if you got plate mail, it could look like anything. It still just retained the stats of plate mail. So, like, he got his armor and he was like, oh yeah, no, it's a chainmail bikini top. And we were like,
Because of course it is.
who, dude, are you even grown? Like, this was like a 24-year-old, and we're like,
there's a lot of, yeah.
What the
I've heard
hell?
horror stories. This is why I only play D&D with one group for the past 6-7 years. Yeah,
it hurt
that reason
so
right there.
hard. It hurt so hard, and I was the only female in the group, and I was just like, what? What?
I don't know how you did that. I would pull my hair out. Sorry.
My hair was short at the time. There wasn't much to grab. Because that was when I was welding, so my hair had actually burned off at that point.
Oh, girl.
I'm not kidding. Look back. Oh wait, you're not on Facebook. I was saying, look back through some of my Facebook pictures. You'll see. Okay, so yeah, plot hole. The magic system. I wholeheartedly agree. It is explained, and yet it is very blasé. The nobles are the dragonkin. They don't have access to dragons like the royal line is, but they are still, because they are dragon blooded, they are still above everybody else. That seems to be the only magic in this kingdom. The elves have magic, though, innate magic, and there is a whole nother race, that are warlocks. They're not even human. They're just warlocks.
Do they look humanoid? What do they look
Yes, they look humanoid, but they're not human. They're
okay.
warlocks. They're a whole nother faction, a whole nother species. So, like,
interesting.
The world building is very quick. It's very succinct, but it's not very good. That I would say is a plot hole.
I mean, let's just make sure we know that this is
yeah.
It doesn't have to be super in depth. It doesn't have to be.
It is a romantic smut.
Yeah, but like that's the thing, though.
Phantasmut. It's a phantasmut. My bad.
Romantic smut. That's of a higher caliber.
Yeah, it's a phantasmut. My bad. Not a romantic smut.
A
It's
phantasmut.
a phantasmut. We're coining terms today. Yeah. So I am looking forward to you reading the second book.
Yep.
The second book is called, where did I put my phone? I've already
Dragon's
finished
Blood?
it. I think it's Dragon's Blood.
Yeah, I think I have it on my Kindle already.
Yep.
I'm reading War by Laura Talasia first.
Yeah.
That's
Dragon's
really
Blood,
good.
also by Jasmine Walt. This one does not have a second author. This series is
Okay.
one author only. And you guys can get it on KU if you want to read with us. We would thoroughly enjoy you guys adding in your own questions about what we think of the series, or any suggestions on books, or
Or just what do
anything.
you want us to talk about too?
Yeah.
Just anything.
Please join us
Just
on
want your input.
join us on Discord, like, comment, subscribe this video, share it with your friends. We also have a podcast. If you are listening to us on the podcast and not on YouTube, hi, thank you. We love seeing where you guys are from. Join us on Instagram. We also have a Facebook group now. I'm trying to think.
Nice.
Have I missed anything? I don't think I've missed anything. Those are all our plugs. We are looking for another co-host. So if you would like to discuss books with me or with Cass, let us know. We're trying to ease some of the reading expectations on Cass, because I am just reading so much. So please let us know if you're interested. Shoot us a DM on Instagram or on YouTube. I think you can even leave us a comment on the podcast. I'm not sure though. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, let us know. We'd be happy to talk with you, give you a tryout, read some books. I'm always down to read something new. So, we did not make it the full hour, but that's to be expected because this book was not a full hour's worth of material. But
it wasn't. But maybe that was for the better, I think.
Yeah. So we are at the end of October, guys. We did announce in our book of the month what our November read was. If you missed it, it is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen, I think it is.
Yes, Jensen. Yep.
So that's going to be released on November 24th. Please join us somehow and let us know what your questions about the material. Let us know what you want to know, or want to ask, and we'll put it in. Oh my gosh, I am so tired. Anyways, we'll not be doing this at night again. That's for sure. Nope. We are a little punch drunk from life. Cass, I love you. I don't have a book suggestion tonight.
Nope. Neither do I.
So I think that's just where we're going to end it tonight. You guys, please join us for the next video in the next episode. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.